London Reels, way better idea, sponsored by Xbrain. Every day I come into the studio, there's literally a million things to do. Whether it's booking a guest, taping a show, editing an episode, or trying to pitch that future sponsor. It's hard to know where to begin. So I took a tip from Martin Bjerregaard, our former guest, and I create a today list. It's not a to-do list, but it's those 3 things that you want to get done today. The ones you've been putting off, the phone calls you know you have to make. I focus on those, and I usually find I have a productive one. I hope that works for you. Today's Way Better Idea is brought to you by the guys at Xbrain. If you want to check out their grass-fed, free-range protein powder, you can go to xbrain.co.uk or click on the link below and get 15% off. Use the code LondonReal. Peace.
That's the name.
And you're not shy to talk real about PR, so let's talk Grazia magazine.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've got to talk about this. So Haley was featured in Grazia magazine, which is a big magazine here in London or in England? Or,
UK, yeah.
It's good. Who's it for?
Professional women.
Professional women,
yeah.
Right? It's got a big circulation.
Like 25 to 35, I suppose, yeah.
Right. And to them, you talked about your agency in your book, and you came out of the closet, and I'm quoting you. You said, for 5 years, I knocked back well over 12 bottles of wine in a week.
Yeah.
It eased your nerves. You were in the business where you were meeting people, having wine to kind of check them out. You was like, it never affected my ability to do my job professionally, but the thought of slipping back to normality was unthinkable.
Yeah.
What happened? What was that all about?
Well, I did drink a lot. I didn't drink 12 bottles a week, but that's journalist for you.
Yeah, there you go.
That would have been quite impressive. But no, I could drink a lot. I mean, I probably could do a bottle a day, which is still, I think, functioning alcoholic category, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, the nature of the job was, it was in a private members club. It had a bar, and I wanted to sit there with the clients and have a drink with them. Probably because I was nervous to meet them, because I'd never interviewed somebody before. I mean, it's quite a big responsibility. They're expecting you to find their future partner. So I was probably a bit uncomfortable, a bit nervous about my ability to be able to do that and ask the right questions and instill confidence in people that I was the right person to do it for them. So I think that, and then it just became habit almost. It was normal. Everyone was having business meetings in there drinking. I mean, you got there, the barman came up, so what do you want to drink? You wouldn't say a cup of tea.
I mean, we're both, we grew up in different countries. And so, I don't know what your feelings were. But when I got to London, when I was in the city, it was a normal thing to have wine at lunch.
Yeah.
You go to the pub after work. I mean, it's a culture where living and drinking is almost, woven together in a way.
It's part of the glamorous. It was, I mean, again, it was quite a few years ago. It's very glamorous. I'm a woman, I'm running my own business, and I'm independent, and I'm having a glass of, wine. It's, white Rioja. I sort of know my grapes. Check me out.
Right. It's like an expression of your individuality. What do you think?
I think it's also so much to do with what you do for a living, right? Like coming from I was in the finance world for quite some time, and it's, it's common to sort of take off a good afternoon and just knock back a lot of drinks.
And that's what I did every afternoon. That was my office. I did all the matchmaking. I used to get up early, have coffee, do all my matchmaking from home in my flat, and then I'd go in, I'd meet about 4 people a day on average. So I'd have 4 consultations. They could last anything from 1 hour, probably 1.5 hours. If it's 4, maybe if it's 3, it would just last longer. So the time period was still the same. And then afterwards, I'd go out headhunting. I had other consultants. So I had a team of consultants that worked with me, and they were all girls. And we just had a great time. We just get a big plate of chips, another bottle of wine, talk about our matches, and we were working. And then we'd go out headhunting in bars, still drinking. So yeah, it's just it was a way of life. It was,
Yeah, I mean, like you said, I mean, in finance and probably in a lot of businesses, I know publishing and journalists do the same thing. I mean, as a broker at ICAP, our job was basically a professional alcoholic. I mean, you're supposed to be out 4 nights a week, getting your clients jacked up. If it's only alcohol, then I guess you're doing good, because anything they want to do is basically what your job is. So the lines get really blurred. Is it possible to continue this? Do you think it's possible to be functional and continue doing that? Could you have done that for 10 years?
No, I don't think so. No.
Sooner or later, catch up to you.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think I could do it at the time. And it was fun, I'm not going to lie, for quite a while.
Was there a point where you're just like, this is getting out of control, or this is not what I want to do?
Yeah, I think it naturally came to an end, which was quite lucky.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah. Because I'd sort of settled down a bit more, and I sold the business, and then started trying for children, and all these things you start thinking about what you've done to your body, because you get away with it when you're younger. There's no visible signs of it. You're young, you still look the same. You know, you don't wake up looking super rough. You can bounce back from a hangover. When you get old, when you start getting into your 30s, I'm 30, nearly 36 now. Like, if I have a heavy night, it's all over my face the next day. It's frightening. So you can see the impact. You can see the physical impact, and you can feel it more. And I think as well, when you start thinking about having children, you start thinking about being responsible for the health of some other being. And
does that affect fertility? Does it really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, well, they don't know what affects fertility.
Okay.
They don't know, really.
So.
But yeah, we struggled a little bit, and I think it's got a lot to do with it. So I quit drinking. Obviously, I didn't drink when I was pregnant at all. And I was lucky, because I'd always been concerned about getting pregnant when I was in my heavy drinking days. I thought, oh God, when I get pregnant, I'm not going to be able to drink for 9 months. Am I going to manage that? How?
Yeah. I always think that.
How?
Like,
yeah.
If a woman's a drinker or a smoker, like, what do? You just hold out?
For me, I was lucky. It might have been because it was twins, but I just had a complete aversion for alcohol. If James came near me smelling of alcohol, and it was lucky. And I think it's obviously a natural sort of protection, self-protection. So I think that I was lucky. And then afterwards, now I drink a glass of wine, and I'm a little bit. I've become my mother. I get a bit tiddly. I get drunk.
And you can notice it.
I get a bit flushed here, and I start saying silly things, embarrassing myself, and I know it's time to go to bed.
James is like, oh, I think you've had enough.
Exactly.
This week on London Real, we have hostile environment filmmaker Stuart Kershaw.
There was a single male with no dependents. I'm that guy who's cheap to insure to send to hostile locations, and I suppose the ocean is hostile, certainly where cameras are involved.
He set the world record for rowing the Indian Ocean in 57 days.
You know, it was life and death out there, absolutely no doubt about it. You know, our water maker failed after a week. We were hand pumping from an emergency desalinator. The boat we discovered had some holes in it, in the ballast tanks, which made us at risk of capsize. I don't know how much more of this we can take.
On Sunday, London Real presents Stuart Kershaw, extreme filmmaker.
I don't take credit for us breaking that world record.